Hey, what is up, people? This is Johnny, and today we're going to be doing a top 5 Pokemon that deserve Mega Evolutions for Generation 1. Number 5, Clefable. It is the Fairy-type Pokemon with the weaknesses of Steel and Poison. Clefable's Pokédex entry states, Clefable moves by skipping lightly as if it were flying using its wings. Its bouncy steps lets it even walk on water. It is known to take strolls on lakes on a quiet moonlit nights. Its category is the Fairy Pokemon. Its abilities are Cute Charm and Magic Guard. Now this Pokemon may seem weak in its stats, but let me tell you, its Pokemon is actually really strong depending on how you can use it competitive. Give this Pokemon a calm mind and it'll raise up your attack, and with new fairy type moves that you can use with Clefable, this Pokemon is absolutely a beast. It is one of the best Pokemon, and I believe if they give it a evolution, a Mega Evolution for this Pokemon, it would definitely make it very stronger. And its weaknesses are only Poison and Steel, which is pretty impressive what this Pokemon can do. And it's a really awesome Pokemon. If you haven't used it, I recommend using Clefable, and Clefable deserves a Mega Evolution. Number 4, Raichu is an electric type Pokemon with the weaknesses of ground. Its Pokédex entry states, if the electrical sacks become excessively charged, Raichu plants its tail in the ground and discharges. Scorched patches of ground will be found near the Pokemon's nest. And it's the category Mouse Pokemon, and its abilities is static, so if an opponent tries to hit you, he might get paralyzation. Now the base stats of this Pokemon look pretty low, but it's quite decent for battles as well. And why not give it a Mega Evolution? You know, Pikachu was one of the mascot Pokemons for the whole Pokemon series, and we know Pikachu's pretty adorable. Why not give its Raichu evolution a Mega Evolution as well? This Pokemon deserves it, even if it's a Generation 1 Pokemon, but I think it would be pretty nice to give Raichu a Mega Evolution. Number 3, Nidoking. It is a poison and ground type Pokemon with the weaknesses of ground, ice, psychic, and water. Now its Pokédex entry states, Nidoking's thick tail packs enormously destructive power. With one swing it can topple a metal transmission tower. Once this Pokemon goes on a rampage, there is no stopping. Its category is the drill Pokemon, and its abilities is Poison Point and Rivalry. Alright, so the base stats of this Pokemon seem pretty good. They're kind of low, but it does a pretty good job if you know how to competitive build this Pokemon. It's a really strong attack if you know how to competitive build it. Now I used the Choice Scarf with this Pokemon, and it always allowed me to use attack first in some kind of strategy because it had a way selection of variety of moves that could go against my opponent depending on the certain type of battle that I am in. Now it's a pretty good one, and I think it deserves a Mega Evolution. Number 2, Dragonite. It is a dragon type and flying type Pokemon with the weaknesses of ice, dragon, rock, and fairy. Its Pokédex entry states, Dragonite is capable of circling a globe in just 16 hours. It is the kind-hearted Pokemon that leads lost and foundering ships in a storm to the safety of the land. Its category is dragon, and its abilities is inner focus. And it has a pretty good stats of attack, so it really is just decent, and everything else is well balanced. Now Dragonite back in the old days in Pokemon used to be one of the strongest Pokemon that you could use in a battle, but I think they have weakened its stats, which made it a little bit weaker. But with a Mega Evolution, this Pokemon could even become a little bit more stronger. It still is strong depending on how you build it competitive, but I would love to see a Dragonite with a Mega Evolution. Now I know it's a pretty tall Pokemon and a 7 feet height, but it would be nice to see it if it was a Pokemon with that type of Mega Evolution. Number 1, Arcanine. Now this is a fire type Pokemon that has the weaknesses of ground, rock, and water. Its Pokédex entry state, Arcanine is known for its high speed. It is said to be capable of running over 6,200 miles in a single day and night. The fire that blazes wildly within this Pokemon's body is a source of powers. Its category is legendaries, and its abilities is Intimidate and Flash Fire. Now this Pokemon has a pretty decent amount of stats, but back then in the day it used to be one of the really strong Pokemons that you could have in your team, and I believe the stats were a little bit more higher, and they got, of course, decreased because it was a really strong Pokemon. Now I would love to see a Mega Evolution of this Pokemon because it is a fire type and it could probably do some pretty good damage against opponents depending on what kind of build this Pokemon may have. And I also like the design, so I think it would be pretty sick to see a Mega Evolution of Arcanine. Thanks for watching this top 5, and I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me in the comment section what are your favorite top 5. Also, if you haven't checked out some of my previous videos, make sure to click on those 2 boxes in the middle to go ahead and check them out.